Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of the Cheat Meal presented by Deep Fried Draft. My name is Brian Bosarge. Been a little while since we did one of these videos. A lot has happened. First, been a bit under the weather, been crazy at my day job. Wife's been sick, I've been sick. It's just freaking nuts. Probably couldn't happen, well, it could have happened at a worse time of the year. It could have happened during the draft, I guess, but start of the NFL league year this week, trades, free agency. It's just been freaking crazy. I haven't been able to write anything because I haven't had time. I haven't had time to do one of these videos. It's just been nuts. But since the last video we've had, there's been 5 trades in the NFL and just millions and millions upon millions of dollars have been spent by NFL teams on free agents. Not really going to touch on any free agent, but save one. Well, maybe a couple others. But we are going to talk about the trades. There is one draft-related note and a 2019 draft-related note. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. But first, let's go right back to where we left off. I believe the last trade we talked about was the Browns, one of the 3 Browns trades that they made in one day. The 4th trade came the next morning. And it was, they traded former first-round pick nose tackle Danny Shelton. They moved him to New England, along with a 2018 5th-round pick. And the Patriots send Cleveland a 3rd-round pick in 2019. Stylistically, I guess he'll fit better in New England from what the defense that the Browns are running now. But it's still hard to give up on a guy like Shelton, who I think still has value. But he's more of a two-down run plugger than he is, and doesn't offer a whole lot of pass rush upside. Personally, for me, one of the bigger trades of the week was the Bengals. One, because they rarely do anything like this, so it just shocked me when I saw this trade come across. But the Bengals acquire offensive tackle Cordy Glenn from the Buffalo Bills, thus eliminating a huge hole at left tackle the Bengals had after losing Andrew Whitworth in free agency last year, or should I say letting him go, because they probably could have retained him had they tried just a smidge harder. But anyway, they get Cordy Glenn from Buffalo, and they also will be swapping 5th and 6th round picks. The Bengals give Buffalo's 5th. Buffalo gets the Bengals 6th. But the big part of the trade was Buffalo will move up from 21 to 12 to get themselves in position to be able to move up to draft a quarterback. Now, Buffalo did sign this week, again, another Buffalo and Bengals connection here. They signed former Bengals backup quarterback A.J. McCarron to essentially what could end up being like a 1-year, $5 million deal or something like that. It's like 2 years and $8 to $10 million, depending on incentives, is the length of the contract, but it can be voided after 1 year and no big loss. That's important because if Buffalo does end up moving up to draft a quarterback, you want to be able to bail out on the McCarron money, when you can. For the Bengals, like I said, the Cedric Ogbuehi first-round draft pick a few years ago has flopped at left tackle. Doesn't look like Jake Fisher, the 2nd-round pick from that year, is also going to be able to play left tackle. So you had to go get somebody, or Andy Dalton's going to keep getting killed. And so Cordy Glenn should be a starter there. Should easily be the starter there. And it's a very manageable contract for the Bengals, as it's 3 years, $30 million left on his deal. But there's no dead money after this year. So if Cordy Glenn, for some reason, flops at left tackle, and he is coming off an injury, but if he flops this year at left tackle, the Bengals can get out with no dead money in March of next year. Minor trade, Miami acquires Daniel Kilgore, center from San Francisco. The team swapped 7th-round picks in that trade. So just wanted to house clean up on that one. New England acquires cornerback Jason McCourty. They're going to pair him with his twin brother, Devin. They also get a 7th-round pick in this year's draft. Cleveland gets a 6th-round pick in this year's draft from New England. So their second trade in a week with each other. And then just broke this morning, probably one of the. But let's go back to free agency, and this is what seems to have rattled everybody. Kirk Cousins, former quarterback of the Redskins, signs a $84 million fully guaranteed contract with the Vikings for 3 years. With that deal, since the Vikings were picking late in the first round, all these teams like the Jets, the Broncos, the Cardinals, teams that have higher first round picks that were looking at Cousins to be their starting quarterback, now have to address it in the draft. This is where panic moves get made. I'm not saying it's a panic move from the Jets, but I know they really wanted Cousins. They did sign Teddy Bridgewater to a 1-year, $5 million contract. They re-signed Josh McCown to a 1-year deal, but this move that they made, let's go ahead and talk about this trade. The Jets move up to 3 with the Indianapolis Colts. The Jets acquired the 3rd overall pick. The Colts moved down to the 6th overall pick that the Jets had. They acquire the Jets' 2nd round pick, 37th overall. The Jets' other 2nd round pick, which was 49th, that they acquired in the Sheldon Richardson trade with the Seahawks, and a 2019 2nd round pick. So the Colts get 4 picks to move down 3 spots. Colts aren't taking a quarterback. They have Andrew Luck. So the Jets, now seemingly desperate to get a quarterback, have to go up to 3. Now, why not go up to 2? Probably because they would have had to pay a higher price with the Giants, because the Giants and them probably not on friendly terms, I would imagine. Plus, maybe the Giants are looking at a quarterback, or they just really like what they want to do at 2. Don't know. But they move up to 3. Now, what does this do for everybody else? For Denver at 5, are you going to go up to 2 if you want the quarterback? I mean, they've signed Case Keenum as a free agent quarterback. So are they happy there? And do they just stay at 5? Because now it's a very good chance they're going to get an excellent non-quarterback going to follow them at 5. And here's where Buffalo comes into play. Buffalo's now within striking distance, so to speak. So do they offer both of their 1s and some other picks to go from 12 to 2? Buffalo also has the 22nd pick that they acquired from Kansas City in the trade back in the first round last year. So Buffalo still has 5 picks in the top 65. You're probably going to have to use 3 to 4 of those picks, I would imagine, to go from 12 to 3, and maybe even a pick in next year's draft. But if you're the Giants, do you want to take a quarterback of the future? Because, I mean, you may not pick this high again. And if Cleveland picks Sam Darnold, like I think that they are, I believe that's where they seem to be. Maybe, maybe not. So Josh Rosen's at 2, who I think is the best quarterback in this draft and one of the best quarterbacks I've scouted in 4 years. Do you take Rosen at 2? Do you take Saquon Barkley or Quentin Nelson at 2? Or do you take the Bills' package of picks and move back? Maybe Denver offers you a package of picks that you like and you move back to 5. You're not going as far. So you'll still get a blue chip player. These are the things. The Giants now hold basically the key to the draft. But let's say the Giants trade off with Buffalo or trade back with Denver. Quarterback goes at 2 now. So you had quarterback at 1, quarterback at 2. The Jets are taking a quarterback at 3. They wouldn't have moved up if they're not. So now Cleveland's at 4. Well, let's say one of the teams that didn't, maybe Arizona, or maybe Buffalo couldn't move up to the Giants at 2. Maybe Denver did. Buffalo still wants that quarterback. Is it Baker Mayfield still there? Is it Josh Allen? I don't like Josh Allen, but everybody else seems to in the NFL. If you hear the big media talk, teams love Josh Allen. So now Cleveland's sitting at 4. They've got their quarterback. They don't need their quarterback now. But Saquon Barkley's there. You hear a lot of link to there. Denzel Ward, the corner from Ohio State's name, picking up a lot of steam here lately at the 4 pick. Bradley Chubb's name's been there to pair with Myles Garrett and Emmanuel Ogbah. But Cleveland loves them some picks. So do they move back? then you could have quarterbacks potentially go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the draft. I mean, I don't know if it's ever happened. I mean, I know quarterbacks have gone 1, 2, 3. That happened in '99, the last time. But I don't know if we've ever seen quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is not out of the realm of possibility. But now you're the Colts, and quarterbacks just went 1, 2, 3, 4. So now, pick 5 is there, and then it's you at pick 6, and you just acquired all these extra picks, and you're probably going to have your choice. You're going to either get Bradley Chubb, who you probably would have taken at 3. You could get Quentin Nelson, who you also could have taken at 3, and maybe even Saquon Barkley, who's not the biggest need, I wouldn't think, for your team, but just supremely talented. A guy you could take at who no one would have fought you if you took at 3, but now you can get him at 6, and you acquired all these picks. It's fascinating. Now, if you're Tampa Bay sitting here at 7 and Bradley Chubb starts to fall, all of a sudden the price for you to get a premium edge rusher has gone down. So you could move. I mean, this is crazy. I love it. All these trades in the first round. I mean, it makes it fun. It makes it fun for us. It makes it horrible if you're trying to do mock drafts, if you want to be accurate or trying to be more accurate than usual. I mean, I'm never accurate, but as far as the intrigue on draft day, it's great. Great to talk about, and keeps us on our toes as we're now 40 days away. Yes, 40 days away from the NFL draft. I mean, I'm ready for it. I love it. So, that being said, there's probably going to be some more trades here even before the draft starts, maybe. We'll see. Definitely. So, but the key now is the key trade spot now, like I said, is at 2. What do the Giants do? Giants hold the key now to the mystery. They are the clue, if you will. All right, so let's clean up some other news here. UMass tight end Adam Brenneman got hurt the first day of Senior Bowl practice. Is calling it quits, calling it a football career. He was my number 8 overall tight end prospect, but he's bailing out. Injuries. I mean, he's had an injury-riddled career at UMass, but he's supremely talented. But I guess this last injury was enough, and he's like, I'm done. I want to be able to lead a healthy, long life, and you can't fault the man. He's very educated, very intelligent guy. So good for Adam Brenneman if that's what he wants to do. But it brings up some of the probably other. It just brings up other tight ends that were lower down. They get to bump up a spot in the rankings. And some 2019 NFL draft news. Rice offensive tackle Calvin Anderson, who is I've never seen play, but is very well thought of in the draft community for the next year's draft. Grad transfer now to Texas, so he has a chance to fill in the left tackle spot left vacated by Connor Williams, and gives him a chance to play on a bigger stage next year and try to elevate his draft status. That's going to do it for today's episode. As always, follow me on Twitter at Deep Fried Draft. Like our page on Facebook at facebook.com/deepfrieddraft. Subscribe to my channel here, Deep Fried Draft, on YouTube, as well as in the App Store, Apple App Store. Download the Bumpers app. Subscribe to Deep Fried Draft there. And you can also go to wblzmedia.com and read some draft-related stuff that I write over there as well. Thanks for listening, everybody. Next time.